In the summer of 2003, Sporting Clube de Portugal sold an 18-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo to Man United for over 12 million euros, a signing that started a sequence of exceptional exports that have continued to elevate the growing reputation of Portuguese football, a trend that will likely continue this summer, as 22-year-old Manuel Ugarte is at the very top of several transfer shortlists, with PSG set to announce the signing of the defensive midfielder any minute now. But who is he, and what makes the Uruguayan so special? Why did PSG sign Manuel Ugarte? Welcome back, guys. You're watching the Sideline Starters, and my name is Andy, first team all sideline. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel to let YouTube know that you're enjoying the content, and once you've done that, let's get started. I think it's best that we start by understanding Ugarte's preferred position. The Uruguayan has been deployed as the holding midfielder of Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3, as the more defensive half of his partnership with Pedro Gonçalves. Ugarte is trusted with building out from the back and carrying the ball from defense into offense, but his most important responsibility is being Sporting's defensive destroyer. The 22-year-old is the definition of a tackling specialist, and leads his team in total tackles, racking up more than double that of his next best teammate. Ugarte's numbers are actually so impressive they outclass the rest of the country as well, as he leads the Primera Liga in total tackles, beating out second place by double digits. Ugarte's aggression and fearless defensive mentality exemplify the ethos of Uruguayan football, but he's not just a great tackler. He has an understanding for the game well beyond his years and uses it to pounce on incoming passes and intercept the ball. And his numbers emphasize this skill set, as no player in all of Portugal has registered more tackles and interceptions than Ugarte, with the young'un leading the pack by quite some margin. But Manuel's defensive numbers aren't just dominant in Portugal, as he boasts elite percentiles in tackles, interceptions, and dribblers challenged per 90 when compared to midfielders across Europe's top 5 leagues. In fact, he's registered the third most tackles and interceptions across the continent, only behind Andre Giroto from Nantes and Joao Palhinha from Fulham. And funny enough, Ugarte is basically a Palhinha regen, as he filled in perfectly for Sporting's former star after he left for the Premier League last summer. And I know Inception FC won't like me saying this, but as good as Palhinha is, Ugarte has potential to be even better, especially since he's only 22 years old right now. And the youngster's talent was on full display against Arsenal in the Europa League last season, across a shocking two-leg tie that saw Sporting beat the Gunners on penalties. And despite getting a red card in the final minutes, Ugarte's importance to the victory cannot be overstated, as his willingness to press Arsenal's back four and disrupt their build-up prevented Arteta's side from ever getting comfortable, which is a compliment that you really couldn't give many midfielders last season, as Arsenal were steamrolling through the Premier League up until that point. Sporting would ultimately lose to Juve in the quarter-final, but the young man had announced himself to the keen eye of football scouts across Europe, who noticed that he brought something else to the table in addition to his defensive output. In today's game, it's simply not enough for a defensive midfielder to just be solid in the tackle. The best of the best always have that extra ability that sets them apart from the rest, and Ugarte is no different, as he brings world-class passing ability to Sporting's midfield, a strength that jumps out of his scouting report, with a total pass completion percentage of 91.6 per 90. And for any skeptics out there, no, Ugarte doesn't just complete 5-yard passes all game long. He's legitimately accurate with regards to every pass type, as we can see by his incredible percentiles for medium, short, and long pass completion percentage per 90. Ugarte's passing prowess have earned him comparisons to Man City's defensive midfielder Rodri. They're both incredible in and out of possession and are absolutely key to carrying out their manager's plans. And you can hardly tell the difference between the two if we're looking at their stats report, with both players having almost identical passing completion percentage and percentiles per 90, while displaying passing distribution that's equally as diverse and interchangeably as efficient, as they serve as the midfield metronomes of two sides that absolutely dominate possession of the football. And seeing just how similar Rodri and Ugarte are in terms of passing makes the 22-year-old all the more impressive, especially when you consider that he's much more defensive than Rodri is, outclassing the Spaniard when it comes to tackles and interceptions per 90. That's not a knock on Rodri. I know that's partly because Guardiola's side win the ball back the second they lose it in the attacking third. It's more of a compliment to Ugarte, who's asked to contribute on both defense and offense and does so exceptionally well. And you know, we haven't even mentioned his mobility on the ball or his carrying efficiency, strengths of his game that are showcased by him leading all of Sporting's midfielders and forwards in total touches, as well as putting up great percentiles for carries and successful and attempted take-ons per 90. Ugarte is a diamond in the rough, and given his age is up there with Moses Caicedo for most promising player in that position. With the word promising there, it's to remind everyone that he isn't the finished article yet and has a bunch of things he can still improve on. Given his passing range and comfort in possession, you'd expect Ugarte to have at least 1 or 2 goal contributions all season. But the Uruguayan actually registered 0 goals and 0 assists all of last year, which I guess you can chalk up to the position he plays and the places he occupies on the pitch, as we can barely see him sniffing the final third on his heat map. But still, the best defensive midfielders in the world find a way to sneak a goal or 2 into their game, and Ugarte will need to do the same if he's ever going to reach those heights. The kid also needs to work on his discipline. He commits 2.45 fouls per 90 and gets 0.45 yellow cards a game, totals that make him one of the most undisciplined midfielders in all of Europe. But I gotta admit, it feels a little weird criticizing Ugarte for his aggression, when it's that same aggression that makes him so impressive defensively in the first place. But if he can just be a little less rash and avoid unnecessary bookings, he'll be even more reliable than he already is. And luckily for Ugarte, he literally has his entire career ahead of him, and will bring an elite defensive foundation to PSG in addition to an adaptable passing game that suits modern football to a T. And who knows, maybe Ugarte will prove to be the missing piece of the PSG Champions League puzzle. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and smash the like button if you want to see more video essays like these. And to keep going down the football wormhole, you can click right here. Till next time, everyone.